Okay, now we're going to look at, the next thing is we're going to look at effect of osmosis in plants. Okay, or wilting in a small plants in terms of osmosis, but more like we're talking about effects of osmosis in plants. Now, what happens to a plant cell in a solution with high water concentration? Meaning, if you put the plant cell in a solution with high water content, what will happen to the plant? Okay, obviously, if you put the plant into a solution with high water concentration, so that means outside the plant, the water is higher than the cell sap. Okay, then the cell sap, because cell sap ni di dalam. So that's when your cell sap has lower water concentration than that of the solution. Artinya, the cell sap in the plant has lower water concentration when compared to outside the cell sap, because solutionnya ada higher water concentration. So we know already kan di mana water higher, di mana water lower. So now we're talking about whether water itu enters into the cell ataupun water leaves the cell. Okay, macam yang teacher explain tadi. Okay, once you know the direction of water, once you know where the water is higher and where the water is lower, you can tell the direction of water, whether it enters or leaves. Alright, okay, now. So you know already, arah cell sap, dalam cell sap itu, water concentrationnya is lower. Outside the cell sap, artinya in the solution, the water concentration is higher. So water enters the cell sap by the process of osmosis. Artinya the cell takes in water. Okay, so macam teacher beritahu tadi, in the topic of osmosis ni, you will be asked conditions of osmosis. You will be asked the direction of water flow. And the next thing is, you will be asked about the size. So sama je sini, what happened to the size of the vacuole? It increases. The vacuole increases in size. Kenapa ia increase? Because water enter the cell. Okay, water enter the cell into the cell sap. Okay, so that's why the vacuole increase in size. So what happened? The cell enlarges. Artinya becomes bigger and becomes turgid. Okay, becomes bigger and becomes turgid. Okay, the turgidity of the cell with water is called turgor. Apa arti turgidity ni? Now, turgor is important. Okay, turgor is important because it will maintain the shape of soft tissue and remain firm, so that it can hold the leaves firmly. The plants wilt if they lose their turgidity. Artinya kalau the cell tu inda ada lagi turgidity, that means the plants tu wilt. Wilt mean layu. Ia losing. There's no water in the cell. So bila there's no water in the cell, we say ia lose ia punya turgidity. So that means ia inda longer turgid and ia inda dapat hold the leaves firmly. So if you imagine balloon, kalau balloon tadi isi water, lama-lama ia basar, what will happen to the balloon? Burst, right? Okay, burst. But in the case of cell wall, in the case of plant, cell wall prevents the cell from bursting. Itu bezanya. Plant cell ni, no matter how much water enters into the cell, okay, ia tidak akan burst. Sebab apa? Ia has a cell wall, and the cell wall is made up of strong cellulose, which prevent the cell wall from bursting.